Big news! VIPER rover launching on SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket and delivered to the surface in 2013. Hello lovely YouTube family, welcome back to Tech and Visions. In today's video, we're going to talk about the VIPER rover launching on SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket and will be delivered in 2013. Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button to avoid missing any amazing videos from us. In 2013, NASA Full Task Investigating Polar Explorations rover will arrive on the moon's south pole and the western border of the Noble crater to map and study the region's surface and subsurface for waters and other resources. VIPER will be launched on a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket as a part of Artemis and will be delivered to the moon by astro-robotic Griffin lander as a part of NASA commercial lunar payload services effort. One of the main goals of the Artemis program is to figure out how to live off the moon indefinitely, maybe using resources like lunar water ice from the moon's south pole to assist personnel and machinery functions well for longer missions on lunar surface. The last time humans visited the moon was during the Apollo missions, when they only stayed for a few days at a time and brought everything they needed from Earth with them. VIPER might be the first American spacecraft to land softly on the moon in decades if Astrobotic Peregrine lander lands safely in July at Lactus Mortis, a hexagonal-shaped plane on the moon's near side. If successful, Peregrine will be the first commercial American lander on the moon and the first US spacecraft to land on the moon since Apollo 17 in 1972. The south pole of the moon is one of the coldest places in the solar system. Scientists have only investigated the region using distance sensing instruments, such as those on NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter and the Lunar Crater Observations and Sensing Satellite, because no previous missions to the moon's surface have explored it. Scientists were able to determine that ice and other possibilities resources exist in permanently shadowed parts of the moon near the poles based on data from this and other missions. Due to its rover-accessible topography and array of adjacent places of scientific interest, including permanently shadowed area, the mountainous area west of Noble crater was chosen as VIPER's landing site after a rigorous landing site selection process. Once on the lunar surface, VIPER will provide ground truth measurements for the presence of water and other resources at the moon's south pole, and the area surrounding Noble crater showed the most promise in this scientific pursuit, said Thomas Zurbuchen, Associate Administrator for Science at NASA headquarters. The data VIPER returns will provide lunar scientists around the world with further insight into our moon's cosmic origin, evolutions, and history, and it will also help inform future Artemis missions to the moon and beyond by enabling us to better understand the lunar environment in these previously unexplored areas hundreds of thousands miles away. Noble crater is an impact crater that was formed when a smaller celestial body collided with it. It is almost completely obscured by shadow, allowing ice to exist there. VIPER will be able to study smaller, more accessible craters that circle Noble's perimeter in its reach for ice and other resources. Selecting a landing site for VIPER is an exciting and important decision for all of us, Daniel Andrews, VIPER project manager, said. Years of study have gone into evaluating the polar regions VIPER will explore. VIPER is going into uncharted territory informed by science to test hypotheses and reveal critical information for future human space exploration. Landing site selections. During VIPER's 100-day missions, NASA's team examined possible rover traverse paths, taking into account where the rover's solar panels might charge and keep it warm. The area around Noble crater offered a number of options. VIPER's present course allows the rover to visit at least 6 scientifically significant sites while still having time to spare. Our evaluations of the landing site was driven by science priorities, said Anthony Colaprede, VIPER lead project scientist at NASA's Ames Research Center in Silicon Valley, California. We seek answers to some pretty complex questions, and studying these resources on the moon that have stood the test of time will help us answer them. The VIPER missions is to figure out how frozen water and other resources got to the moon in the first place. They also want to figure out where they originated from, how they survived for billions of years, how they got away, and where they are going. VIPER's journey across the Noble region. VIPER will examine a 36 square mile area in the Noble region, with VIPER scheduled to go through 10 to 15 miles of it throughout its mission. During this period, the rover will explore a number of factually different places on the moon, providing further information on a variety of lunar conditions. With the help of VIPER sensors and a drill, the VIPER team will characterize ice and other resources in these places. VIPER will collect samples from at least 3 drill locations as it traverses between each region of scientific interest. Based on similarly topography, scientists will be able to better forecast where else ice may be found on the moon by analyzing these samples from a variety of depths and temperatures, allowing NASA to create a worldwide resource map. This map, along with the other science VIPER will create, will assist scientists better understand the distributions of resources on the moon and will inform future crewed missions attempting to establish a long-term presence on the moon. Getting to the moon isn't just about building a spacecraft, but having a complete mission solution. SpaceX Falcon Heavy completes our Griffin Mission 1 solutions by providing a proven launch vehicle to carry us on our trajectory to the moon. Daniel Gillis, director of Griffin Mission 1 at Astrobotic, said in a statement. The deal's details were not disclosed by Astrobotic. Although other government contracts for Falcon Heavy missions have been much more expensive, SpaceX lists a price of $90 million on its website. Astrobotic also refused to say what alternative launch possibilities the mission evaluated. VIPER was originally scheduled to launch in 2022 at a cost of $250 million. NASA, on the other hand, has postponed the launch until the late 2023 in order to allow extra time for work on extending VIPER's mission's life from 14 to 100 days. As a result, NASA revealed in March that the cost of the VIPER had increased to $433.5 million. VIPER is the largest mission in NASA's Commercial Lunar Lander program, which aims to buy payload space on commercial lunar landers. In June 2020, Astrobotic was awarded a $199.5 million task order to deploy VIPER to the lunar surface using its Griffin lander. The majority of the CLPS landers chosen so far will launch on SpaceX. CLPS task orders for 2 landers missions were awarded to Intuitive Machines, which will launch each mission on Falcon 9 spacecraft late this year and in 2022. Masten Space Systems chose SpaceX to launch their XL-1 lander missions, which was awarded a CLPS award for the missions in late 2022. On the initial launch of United Launch Alliance Vulcan Centaur, Astrobotic will launch its first CLPS missions, a smaller lunar lander dubbed Peregrine, scheduled for late this year. Firefly Aerospace, which won the CLPS prize in January, has yet to choose a launch provider for its Blue Ghost lander, which is too huge to launch on the company's own Alpha rocket. The Astrobotic contracts adds to the Falcon Heavy's expanding backlog, which began with the Space Test Program 2 missions in June 2019. The next Falcon Heavy launch, which will carry a classified payload for the US Space Force, is scheduled for July. Late this year, the Space Force will launch another Falcon Heavy rocket. NASA has awarded SpaceX contracts for Falcon Heavy, including the side missions to the metallic asteroids to the same name in 2022 and the first 2 elements of the lunar getaway in 2024, which will be launched in February. Griffin's delivery of VIPER will be Astrobotic's second CLPS delivery, following the company's Peregrine lander delivery later this year. Gaining a better learning of resource on the moon is critical to advancing humanity's reach beyond Earth, and we are honored to support these exciting missions and NASA CLPS program, said SpaceX Senior Director of Commercial Sales Stephanie Bednarik. Falcon Heavy is also the frontrunner in the race to fly the Europa Clipper mission, which NASA determined would not be able to launch on the Space Launch Systems as planned. Gillis, manager for Griffin Mission 1, previously worked at SpaceX, where he was a missions integrator for the STP-2 Falcon Heavy launch. Having previously sat on the other side of the table as a former SpaceX mission manager, I am fully aware of SpaceX capabilities and processes, and I am excited to be working with SpaceX on the missions once again, he said. The Griffin lunar lander is now undergoing certifications testing and should be completed by the end of 2021, according to Astrobotic. Griffin will be a large lander capable of carrying the VIPER, which weigh 1,000 pounds. Astrobotic's overall fixed cost contract with NASA for the missions is $199.5 million, which covers everything from the launch to landing. Griffin Mission 1 is scheduled to launch in 2013 from SpaceX facilities at Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39A. Work on the Griffin lunar lander is still underway, with qualification testing expected to be finished by the end of the year, according to Astrobotic. That's all for today. Share your thoughts with us in the comment. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any amazing video from us. Thank you for watching.